Welcome to the review of Might and Magic 4: The Clouds of Xeen, created by New World Computing. Might and Magic 4 was released in 1992. It's a traditional role-playing game where you control a party of characters. The main menu, of course, you can start a new game or load an existing game. You just choose a slot, put in a name, and you're ready to go. Incidentally, the black rectangle you see at the bottom of the screen is once again a bug that I found in DOSBox. So throughout some of the review you're going to be seeing that, unfortunately. You start off in a town named Virgo. Basically you start walking around and exploring things. And you start with a preset party. You don't get to create characters at this point. Some terrain's passable and some isn't, such as these trees. If you hover over icons, you don't really know what they do. Of course, this game was released in a time where you had instruction manuals, so it shouldn't have been an issue. But you can cast spells, you can shoot ranged weapons, you can go to sleep. You can get a list of your quest items. Obviously, you start with none. You can see an overhead view of the map, wherever you've been already. There's an icon to tell you what day and year it is, and the time. And you can get a quick reference chart which shows you the overall status of your party members. One of the great things about the Might and Magic series are all the character attributes. You have might, intelligence, personality, endurance, speed, accuracy, and luck. You'll notice that there's a current/maximum. One of the interesting things is you can actually have your attributes temporarily lowered. There's also the age and level of your character. Higher the armor class, the better for defense. Of course, it shows your current hit points versus your maximum. Same goes for spell points. There's many different elements in the game: fire, cold, electricity, etc. So you can have different resistances based on the different types. There's also a wide variety of skills in the game. You can also receive awards for completing quests. Experience is required to level up your characters. It shows you the next level, which is very handy. It also shows you how much gold the party has. And gems. Gems are used for casting more powerful spells. It also has the concept of food. If you sleep and you don't have enough food, you won't heal. And then of course condition, whether you're good, cursed, poisoned, etc. You can look at weapons, armor, and you'll notice there's a different icon next to each type of armor, which means you can equip things in different areas of your body. Really interesting concept. There's accessories and miscellaneous items. One of the first obstacles in the game are doors. You can bash them open, or you can just try to open them manually. Sometimes you'll get a trap like poison, other times they'll open cleanly. Enemies can attack you and poison you. You can attack them in a ranged attack or close up. Notice the blood. Now, if you do more than just physical damage, you'll see an icon that shows the appropriate type, which is very interesting. Here we're seeing poison type damage. You can cast spells that hit area effects such as Toxic Cloud or Lightning Bolt. Here's cold damage. Then there's miscellaneous spells such as Time Distortion, which allows you to teleport out of combat. Of course, enemies can cast spells on you as well. Here we got hit by a fireball. They can also shoot ranged attacks at you. When you kill enemies, sometimes you'll find gold and equipment. You can also find things by searching under beds, crates, and even trees. Here we found a bottle in the middle of the ocean and opened it up and there's a scroll inside. Chests are typically trapped, so you'd want somebody to either cast a spell to open it or pick a lock. Sometimes you find a lot of items, other times you don't. Throughout the game, you'll find all kinds of bogus advice, but every once in a while, you'll get some very subtle advice, such as this saying, money grows on trees.
Hello,
Taverns are one of the most important places in the game. Not only can you get a ice cold beer, but you can hear rumors. And most importantly, you can sign in, which is the way to save the game.
Goodbye.
That's the only way to save the game. And, interestingly enough, this is where you actually create characters. You can remove them from your party and create new ones. So here's the character creation screen. You get the nice little animation of the dice rolling at the top. And basically you emulate that you're rolling. On the right side you'll notice that certain professions are enabled based on the attributes I have. Also interesting is the pictures on the left go with the race combinations. So here we're going to remove all the preset characters and delete them to save some space. Now I'm going to add new characters to the party. If you wander around, you'll eventually come across the guild that you can join. What this does is allows you to buy spells. The cost of the spell is determined based on the level of the spell or how powerful it is. Of course, the game has Cleric Spells, which are like priests, and Sorcerer Spells, like wizards. The game also has a bank where you can deposit gold and gems. And no role-playing game's complete without a temple in order to heal. For a hefty fee, they can even resurrect. There's also a training guild, which is required in order to level up. Once you have enough experience, you visit the guild and you hit train.
Good job! Good job!
As you become more experienced, you'll notice your attacks per round goes up, as well as other powerful things. You can look at the experience icon to say if it's eligible. There's of course blacksmiths, where you can get all kinds of weapons and armor. There's also miscellaneous type equipment. You can find some interesting things at times. More powerful weapons will become available in different towns that are further along or further advanced. After you buy something, you have to actually equip it to use it, which there's a little learning curve at first to how this works. But just to show you how it works, if we look at our armor class, it's 7 right now. If we come over and equip the scale armor, you'll notice it dropped to 6, so that means the scale armor was worse than the ring armor. Some items, such as rings, can have multiples equipped. Some items can increase resistance, such as this flaming belt. If we look at her heat resistance now, or fire resistance is 22. Some items, such as this box of lightning, can be invoked in combat. Equipment can also be broken. Yes, even robes can be broken. But you can repair them at the shop. You can also identify items at the shop. Sometimes they'll have elemental damage, such as +4 on this Pyrrhic Scimitar. You can learn skills such as pathfinding or cartography. From the character screen, you can get a list of your skills and awards as you gain more of them. Another really cool thing is look at the statue toward the right. He's waving his hand. That indicates that there's a secret door there. Lots of little secret things in this game, such as that. You can actually swim across water if you get the swimming skill. And another cool thing about the game is your character's profile will change based on their status. For instance, if you're drunk or insane or poisoned, your picture will look different depending on what it is. The game has some pretty cool adventure spells like Lloyd's Beacon. And if you're asleep, you can cast Awaken. And another cool one is Wizard's Eye. Allows you to see a map all around you, even if you haven't been there. There's all kinds of quests distributed throughout the game as well. Very roleplay feel. If you complete a quest, you get experience and sometimes magic items. Another way to make your characters much more powerful is to find treasure. Here there's 50,000 gold pieces and all kinds of magic items in this chest. You can also become more powerful by taking a risk and drinking from barrels and wells and other magic areas. Here we're getting +2 might permanently, 100 spell points temporarily, 50 intellect temporarily. You can also pray at shrines to get some bonuses. The game's filled with noisy combat effects, which just really adds to the roleplay feel. Enemies can volley back and forth with you across rivers if they have ranged weapons. Some can even fly across the river, such as these sprites or pixies. There's also goofy characters like a gnome vampire. Equipment can have all kinds of modifiers, a material one, elemental one, and a magic or spell type. Here we have an iron longbow bug zapper. How cool is that? The game also has signs distributed and all kinds of informative things. Sometimes you can even get help from looking in a bottle floating in a river. And then throughout the quests that you have to complete, you'll find interesting things you have to interact with, such as a sundial. And here we found a wand. You'll notice there's an asterisk which determines it's a special type item. You return it to the person who asked for it and you get the quest completed. You can also run into some impassable areas where it requires special items or awards in order to move on. Here we didn't have what was required to enter this dungeon. You'll find many towns in your travel. You'll even run across a castle you can buy for 50,000 gold. I don't know, that seems like a pretty good bargain to me. But you can't do anything with it until you talk to the king's engineers. Boy, that's typical, isn't it? In closing, I just want to say this is one fantastic game. If you're a role-playing game enthusiast, you have to have this game. You have to give it a try. The wide variance on the character classes and races, the types of enemies you run across, the equipment, the elements, all of this is just fantastic. It really makes the game world huge. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.